Good morning, YouTubians. It's Kermit's Goes. It's Monday. It's the Blu-ray release day, and I'm already in Costa getting my morning coffee. Going to head into HMV in a moment. There is quite a few out today. I'm after about 3 or 4 myself. Hopefully, they're all going to be in. No pushbacks. And then I've also got a Vision box to show you as well. So it's going to be quite a bit at the end. So we're going to head into HMV, see what's hit the shelves, and then I'll take you back and show you what I picked up. See you all in a bit. So whilst I show you my Costa coffee, let me tell you what didn't make it to HMV. We got Dragon's Return, The Witch on 4K, Ebola Syndrome from 88 Films, Manic from 88 Films, Terrifier Blood Duo 1 and 2, Terrifier 2 single release, This is Gua, The Witch, Burst Angel, Irresponsible Captain Tyler, Bloodlands Season 2, plus the Indicator films Murder by Contract, Tight Spot, Framed, Secret Ceremony, An Affair in Trinidad, 711 Ocean Drive and The Mob. Also the Eureka's title, The Most Dangerous Game. Let's go in now and see exactly what did make it to the shelves. There's still quite a few out today, so we'll head over to the new and trending. So here we have the big blockbuster release of the day. It's Bullet Train starring Brad Pitt as an assassin trying to retrieve a briefcase. It's on Sony Pictures, it's an action comedy, and here are the usual releases. $15.99 for the Blu-ray. Hopefully that is not the sign of things to come. Here's the 4K priced at $24.99. By the way, none of these releases come with a slipcover. And there's also the DVD right here. And again, this is a price hike of $11.99. Sony Pictures, why have you put your prices up? Don't you know there's an economic crisis at the moment in the UK? Next is Brian and Charles. This was pushed back from the 10th of October. And this was the only copy I could film. And this was my copy that I pre-ordered. It's from Medium Rare Entertainment. And this is priced at $12.99. That's much more reasonable. There was a DVD, but I forgot to film it. So next is the horror film Jeepers Creepers Reborn. As the title suggests, this is a reboot and not a sequel. It's about a horror hound festival being held for the very first time in Louisiana, where a couple of attendees start to have disturbing visions. It's on 101 Films and it has a 15 certificate. You've got the DVD priced at $9.99 and the Blu-ray priced at $14.99. No slipcovers on either one of these today. So next is an HMV exclusive of the TV show Wheel of Time. It's from Sony Pictures. It's a fantasy adventure based on the books of Robert Jordan. There is another season already made and a third one in the making. It's got a total of 8 episodes in this. It stars Rosamund Pike and Sophie Okonedo. The Blu-ray is priced at $29.99 and the DVD at $24.99. No slipcovers on either one. Next is Where the Crawdad Sings. This is a pushback from last week, again from Sony Pictures. This mystery thriller is directed by Olivia Newman and stars Daisy Edgar Jones. It's got a total runtime of 125 minutes. Comes as a 15 certificate. No slipcover for this one. So next is the Fremantle home entertainment release of WWE Clash at the Castle, which took place at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales on the 3rd of September this year. And the crowd attendance was approximately 62,296 people. And at the event, crowds witnessed Roman Reigns defending his championship against Drew McIntyre. $14.99 for the Blu-ray, $12.99 for the DVD. Next is a limited edition release of the Count Yorga collection from Arrow Films. This contains 2 movies, Count Yorga Vampire from 1970 and The Return of Count Yorga from 1971. Total runtime of 190 minutes and it carries a 15 certificate. And from what I can see, it includes art cards, posters and a book. It's yours for $34.99. Next is a deluxe collector's edition from 88 Films of Right and Wrongs, also known as Above the Law. It's from 1986 and again contains a poster, a book and art cards. It's got a runtime of 100 minutes and comes with an 18 certificate and it's yours for $24.99. Next is Moonfall, directed by Roland Emmerich. It's a 130-minute sci-fi adventure. Got a 12 certificate and stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson and John Bradley. No slipcover for this one, but nice artwork on the front. Next is the comedy Red Rocket starring Simon Rex. This is about a washed-up porn star who returns home to a poor reception. This has an 18 certificate and is yours for $12.99. Next is an Acorn Media release of Spine of the Night. It's a fantasy horror animated movie with a voice cast that includes Patton Oswalt, Lucy Lawless and Richard E. Grant. This has an 18 certificate and is yours for $14.99. Next is the Arrow 4K limited edition of Videodrome, 1983 horror from David Cronenberg. It stars James Woods and Debbie Harry, aka Blondie. It's got a runtime of 89 minutes and there are 2 cuts to this movie. And again, this comes with a book, a poster and art cards. Yours for $29.99. Next is the 4K release of Raw Deal. This 1986 action thriller stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and it has an 18 certificate and a runtime of 101 minutes. This comes with a lovely glossy slip and is yours for $19.99. Next is a Kaleidoscope Entertainment documentary of Pennywise, The Story of It. This is directed by Chris Griffiths, and it covers the story of the original It movie from 1990. This has interviews and hours of never-before-seen footage. Comes with a 15 certificate and is available on both Blu-ray, priced at $12.99, and DVD, priced at $9.99. So here I am on Western Road. Weather's a bit iffy, it's sunny, it's rainy, it's blowy, but let's pop into CEX. I've not been in here for quite some time. Let's go. So this is the Batman Complete Animated Series from Warner Brothers. Covers the years 1992 to 1998. Contains 5 movies, priced at 35 quid. Amazon, £48. So right here is the Arrow window box release of Dawn of the Dead. It's currently at £25. I actually grabbed this about 6 months ago from CEX for £15, so they've put the price up, probably for Halloween. At the moment, this is £43 on Amazon. Here's Fringe, seasons 1 to 5, very sturdy box, mint condition too, £28, which is a bargain, currently $56 on Amazon. Recommend this show if you like X-Files. So here is the complete series of Mad Men, seasons 1 through 7. Let's open it up and take a look, see what it's like inside. That's not bad at all. This ran for 8 years, got 92 episodes, 50 quid, so that's just over £7 per season. I don't think that's too bad at all. So right there is the full set of The Sopranos for £30, and next to it is Star Trek Enterprise Full Journey for £32. And here is the Universal Monsters collection for £20. This is in absolutely mint condition, also contains all the art cards as well. Now I can't speak for the condition of the discs. You can of course pick this up brand new on Amazon though for £27. They also have a copy of The Discipline of the Shaolin for £6. Comes with a slipcover, this one. This will set you back around about £14 on Amazon. And next is Lower Decks Season 2 for £18 used. I say used because you can actually get this brand new on Amazon for just £15. No guarantee of a slipcover though. Hey everybody, welcome back. Quite a bit to show you today. I've got a box of films from Viavision and I've also got 3 new releases as well. So let's crack on with it. Okay, so last week you might remember during my Monday's video a box showed up right at the end just as I finished recording. It's from Viavision, a load of films inside for me to review. I didn't open it on camera last Monday because I wanted to open it during the week and watch everything inside so I can give you my opinion today. And here it is. These are the films inside. Let me talk you through it. Okay, so the first one is Barfly. Now this is a double Blu-ray box set, contains the film and a documentary. I'll talk about the film in just a second, but let's take a look at the box first. So on the back of the box is this information card. It was held on with one of those just spots of glue that you can just peel off. This I will put up in the corner, 2 disc limited collector's edition. You've got the film Barfly obviously and the Charles Bukowski tapes, which is an interview which I will talk about in just a second. On the sides you have the film title. On the back you have an image there of Mickey Rourke with Frank Stallone. There's a quote there as well. Some people never go crazy. What horrible lives they must lead. Charles Bukowski. And then on the front you have that lovely image there. Faye Dunaway and Mickey Rourke at the bar. And on the top you have the title. And on the bottom you have some information about quality control. Now the box itself again is one of these hinged type ones. You can see there is that V shape. And when it locks in, it locks in on both sides. Very sturdy box, always a bonus. 2 films inside, I'll talk about them individually. This is extremely sturdy, this box. Nice red interior as well. Okay, so I'll talk about the additional disc in here, and it's a documentary of Charles Bukowski, a poet and heavy drinker, who wrote the story of Barfly and took 7 years to make. So the director, Barbette Schroeder, filmed Charles for the documentary during the making of the film. This is over 4 hours long. It's told over 52 interviews, and Charles tells how his father beat him as a child, quite severely as well, and that constant torment shaped the way he saw life and influenced his poetry. This accompanying Blu-ray is a great companion to the movie, which I will talk about now. So this is the main feature of the set. It's Barfly, a drama from 1987 starring Mickey Rourke, and this was made the same year that he made Angel Heart. Now in this, Mickey's playing a character called Henry. He's an alcoholic living in LA in this grubby apartment, but he spends most of his day hanging out in a dive bar called the Golden Horn, where Eddie tends bar. And Eddie is played by Frank Stallone, that's Sylvester Stallone's brother. Henry and Eddie are constantly fighting each other. They're always at each other's throats for some reason or another, and they fight in a back alley to betting onlookers. But one day, Eddie meets Wanda, played by Faye Dunaway. She kind of changes his life. She's an alcoholic as well, and they start up a casual relationship. Eddie, by the way, writes poetry, and he sends his work into local publications, newspapers, that kind of thing, for cash. And one day he's contacted by Tully, played by Alice Krige, who wants to publish his work, and they also start a relationship, albeit a very brief one. But it isn't long before Henry longs for his life back at the bar and he leaves her. This was written as a semi-autobiographical account of Charles Bukowski's life. The picture quality on this is slightly soft in places, but crispy clear on the whole. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mickey Rourke in the lead here. I don't know why his acting, it just seemed a little bit strange, a little bit forced, but he did nail Bukowski's speech pattern, I will say that. And the other characters at the bar are either very good actors or they were actual drunks. Either way, fantastic casting. And on a side note, Charles Bukowski pops up in the film as an old timer. Now, this has got a runtime of just under 1 hour 40 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So first of all, the Charles Bukowski tapes. There's the image on the disc from the front cover. So there's a reverse of the cover of the Charles Bukowski tapes. So I've got to say, I wasn't a fan of this guy. I don't know, it's just his speech pattern, his whole mannerisms. Not a fan. So onto the film, we got the image there from the front cover. And on the reverse of the cover, you got an image there of Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway. So that was Barfly, and that's imprint number 159. Okay, next one to show you out the box. This is Blue Chips. This is a sports drama directed by William Friedkin. He's the guy behind The French Connection and The Exorcist. Now, this stars Nick Nolte as an LA college basketball coach called Pete Bell. Now, Pete is at the end of his tether. His team is on a really bad losing streak. I should actually mention that the title Blue Chips referred to companies that are really high quality and successful. And it's said, allegedly, that some teams buy their star players, a practice that is illegal in college basketball. So Pete tries to recruit some players at the start of the season. He visits them in person with honest intentions. Enter a character known as Happy, played by JT Walsh, a recruiter with no problems ignoring the rules and regulations, and he does it in a way that can't be traced. Now, Pete receives this tip about a possible player called Neon, played by Shaquille O'Neal, and he brings him back to his college to enroll so he can play on his team. One of his potential stars, because he gets a few of them, starts to make demands, referring to himself as a blue chip commodity, and he asks for at least $30,000, which angers Pete at first, but then he starts to ask Happy for help with the recruitment program. Meanwhile, this is all being investigated by a sports writer called Ed, played by Ed O'Neill, but he's not in it for very long. I'm not going to say any more than that. This has got a very impressive cast, as well as Nolte, Walsh and the O'Neills. You've got Larry Bird, you've got Mary McDonnell, you've got Alfred Woodard, as well as actual professional basketball players. Some of them are huge, like 7 foot tall. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 48 minutes and the picture quality is crystal clear. Now, I'm a big fan of sports films, and this is one, but we don't often get enough of these in the UK, if any at all. Very happy to receive this. Let's take a look inside. So as you can see, the slipcover has a different image to the case, and that's the same on the back. The image on the disc is the same as the slip box. And there's an image on the reverse of the cover, and you can see there's Nick Nolte in the middle with his team behind him. Nick Nolte is not looking very happy in that picture. So that was Blue Chips. Next is Adrian Lynn's version of Lolita, and I say his version because this is a remake of a Stanley Kubrick film of the same name. Now, I will point out actually this is meant to be a more faithful adaptation of the book, and a very controversial book it is at that, although I haven't read it for myself. In case you're wondering, it was written in 1955 by Vladimir Nabokov. Now, this film was made in 1997 and it stars Jeremy Irons as Humbert. Yeah. When he was a boy, yeah, that was his name, Humbert. When he was a boy, he was in love with a young girl, but she suddenly passed away. And you could say it's a case of Arrested Development, because his mind's been set in that time period and he's been stuck trying to replace that young love ever since. So fast forward a few decades and he sees Dolores, this 14-year-old girl played by Dominic Swain. This is happening while he's trying to look for a new room to rent, because he's like a travelling professor. He's immediately attracted to this young girl and he takes the room. Now, Dolores' mother, the landlady, is Charlotte Hayes, played by Melanie Griffiths. And Humbert is completely infatuated with her daughter, and he relishes any opportunity to be near her. Dolores actually flirts back as well, kissing him one point on his mouth, and her behaviour becomes more sexually aggressive as the film goes on. Now, Humbert, I should point out, actually is a middle-aged man, and he doesn't see this as inappropriate behaviour at all. And in a twist of fate during the film, Humbert and Dolores' mother Charlotte get married. I won't go into that. He does this really to stay close to her daughter. I won't say any more, but there's a lot more to this story. This is a love story, albeit a disturbing one. The performances in this are incredible, and I mean incredible, from everyone. I was completely hooked on the story. It twisted and turned the whole way through. Didn't see certain things coming. It also stars briefly Frank Langella as well. As I'd say, he was, well, a sleazy man. I'll leave it at that. It's got a runtime of 2 hours and 17 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So you can see the image on the slip box is different to the case, and the image on the front there, the slip box, is Dolores while she's laying on the grass. This is the first time Humbert sees her and falls immediately in love with her. And there's that image repeated onto the disc, and you see Humbert in the background staring at her. So I'm going to point out on the cover there, you got the names Jeremy Irons, Melanie Griffiths and Frank Langella. No mention of Dominique Swain, which I think is a pity, because there she is there. Her and Jeremy Irons are the main protagonists in the film, and she's not even mentioned on the cover. And there is an image of Dominique Swain there in a car. I won't say any more because I don't want to give any of the story away. So that was Lolita. Now if you can get past the fact that it's a middle-aged man grooming a young girl, then you're going to love this film. You've got to see the story, the development of character. So Lolita, highly recommend that film. Okay, and the last one out of the box from Viavision is actually an Academy Award winner for Best Foreign Film. It's Dersu Usula, a Soviet Union film from 1975, directed and co-written by Akira Kurosawa, the man who actually directed Seven Samurai in 1954. Now this drama, set in 1902, is told in flashback form as Captain Vladimir Arseniev, played by Yuri Solomin, recounts his mapping trips through the wilderness, where he meets up with his local guide who will help him and his very small team of men navigate through the very tough terrain. Now the guide is called Dersu Usula, who the film is named after, played by Maxim Munzuk. The captain is very respectful to his guide, but his men kind of make fun of him at the start, mistaking him for an old fool, but it isn't long before they wise up and see that he's a very clever man who saves their lives over and over. Now Vladimir and the guide become very close friends over the course of 2 expeditions, and the film, as I said, is in flashback form, and at the start of the movie Vladimir is actually searching for the grave of Dersu, but unfortunately the land has since been developed on. This story is of unusual friendships, changing times, all set in a very brutal and unforgiving landscapes of the Soviet Union. It's shot, I would say, 98% outside on location in the far east of Russia in an area called Tega. This is a very slow burn. It isn't going to be for everybody's taste. It's 2 hours 22 minutes, and again, excellent picture quality and sound quality. Let's take a look inside. So the artwork on the slip box is different to the case, and I believe these are all limited slip boxes as well. And again, different on the back. There's an image there of Dersu and the band of men that he's guiding through the rough terrain. You also have an image there of the men on the expedition. So that was Dersu Usula. And now I'd like to say a massive thank you to Viavision for sending these over for me to showcase on my channel. Really do appreciate that, and I'll put a link down below to where you can go on their website to order these for yourself. This is a fantastic boutique label, put a lot of effort into their releases. The artwork on these, the inner artwork, the images on the disc, the extras, lots of extras as you can see. I've showcased them up in the corner there. And a really unusual and wide selection of films as well. Blue Chips, Dersu Usula, Barfly, fantastic. Okay, so on to this week's releases, and the first one is Where the Crawdads Sing. It's a murder mystery from this year based on a novel of the same name by Delia Owens, directed by Olivia Newman. It's actually a second feature film. Her first one was First Match, which starred Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. This one has Daisy Edgar-Jones in the lead role as Catherine Clark, or Kaya as she's known in the film. She's a girl who's left to fend for herself as her parents and siblings just up and leave over time, and she's aged just 7, living alone in squalor, known to the locals as Marsh Girl, and she has to grow up living in hard times, but she just gets on with it. A few years later, she starts a relationship with a local boy, and that's when things turn nasty. I'll leave it there. I don't want to go into spoiler territory or anything like that. Pick this up because of word of mouth and because it also stars David Strathairn. Actor I think deserves a lot more recognition. Brilliant actor. This is put out by Sony Pictures pretty much everywhere in the world, so that is great to hear. It's got a runtime of 125 minutes. Let's open it up and take a look inside. So on the disc you have a partial image from the front cover. So that is Where the Crawdads Sing. Next title to show you is Brian and Charles. First brought to my attention actually by Jamie Powell. There is a review on his channel, be sure to go and check that out. This comedy drama came out earlier this year on the 8th of July, and it's a feature based on a short film of the same name. This is directed by Jim Archer, this being his directorial debut. And it stars David Earl as Brian, the title character. Now Brian is this unsuccessful inventor but perseveres despite having many failures. It's a great British spirit right there. One day he hits upon an idea to build a robot, as we all do. It's made from a washing machine, a mannequin head, spare parts, and powered accidentally by a lightning strike. Charles is then created, and he is played by Chris Hayward, who actually co-wrote the screenplay alongside David Earl, aka Brian. I'm not going to go any further with the story, don't want to give anything away other than that. Filmed in North Wales over the pandemic, and it's an hour and a half long. Let's take a look inside. And on the disc we have the image from the front cover. So that is Brian and Charles. Okay, so next and last is Bullet Train. It seems like this was only at the cinema a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I think it is still playing in some multiplexes in the UK, but here it is on Blu-ray. Action comedy directed by David Leitch. Now, he isn't new to the action genre. He co-directed the first John Wick film, as well as Atomic Blonde, Hobson Shaw and Deadpool 2 as well. This stars Brad Pitt in the lead role, his first time in a while, I believe. Now, he's playing an assassin called Ladybug, and he's on the bullet train trying to retrieve a briefcase. Also on board are a multitude of deadly assassins, as opposed to non-deadly ones, I guess. They're all on one assignment or another, and they're all intent on killing one another at some point on the journey. The cast also includes Aaron Taylor-Johnson as a character called Tangerine. Yep, seems like they've all got silly names in this film. There's also Joey King, Michael Shannon and Sandra Bullock. She's popping up in a cameo role, probably returning a favour as Brad Pitt popped up in Lost City, her last film. Nothing else to say really, it's assassins on a bullet train, so you know exactly what you're getting for your money. It's got a runtime of 126 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So on the disc, we've got an image there of Brad Pitt, and on his shoulder you got a ladybug, or a ladybird as they're known in the UK. So that was Bullet Train. So that is it. Have you seen any of those films or plan to pick them up, or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? On that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.